This video was brought to you by Replica Surfaces. Hey guys, it's Megan, and in today's video, I'll be showing you 8 art hacks that actually work. You guys know I am all about making my life easier, saving some money, all that fun stuff. And you can find most of the supplies for these art hacks at your local dollar store or right at home. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Idea number 1 is to make your own wood stain. All you need for this is some acrylic paint, water, and either a baby wipe or a wet paper towel. Create a mixture that's about half water and half paint. Go ahead and mix that together really well. Dip a baby wipe or wet paper towel into the paint mixture and rub it on the wood, just like you would with a regular stain. This method is great because you're not limited to traditional stain colors. I did use a more traditional brown for this piece since I thought that it went well with the paint pouring that I did on the bottom. But you could do blue, red, green, whatever you want. Let that dry and you can either leave it as is or seal it with some polyurethane. So here's just a quick look at how the finished piece turned out. This next hack is a game changer for making DIY gifts, and I can't believe that I hadn't tried this until now. It's surprisingly easy to remove the graphics from plastic items. All you need is some nail polish remover and a magic eraser. I tested this on a few different things. It took the logo right off of this plastic cup, and it was even easier to remove the writing from this Ziploc bag. I even used this technique on a Christmas-themed candy jar from the Dollar Tree. This is a great way to repurpose seasonal decor, or just things that you might have outgrown. Before we move on to the next hack, I just want to take a minute to thank today's video sponsor, Replica Surfaces. Replica Surfaces are rigid, lightweight, stain-resistant photography surfaces that replicate real textures like marble, wood, cement, and more. Which, speaking of crafting hacks, if you like to share your creations online, Replica Surfaces will help you take instantly better, enviable photos. Let's be real, it can be hard to get a good photo, but with Replica Surfaces' high-quality, lightweight backdrops, you can create a mini studio anywhere. My craft room is currently a disaster, but from these photos you would never know. There's over 150 different surface combinations to mix and match depending on what style you're going for. And when you bundle 2 or more surfaces together, you'll get a set of stands and free shipping. Replica surfaces are so much more than a backdrop. They set you up for success with photography tutorials on their website and other social media platforms. I just got a new camera and these have helped me so much. Start building your collection today. Go to replicasurfaces.com and use my code Megan Weller for 15% off your first purchase. If you've ever tried to make a project with one of these mini hot glue guns, this next hack is for you. We've all been there. Your glue stick runs out, you gotta go find another one, wait for it to heat up, and by the time it does, the glue on your project is already dry. But there's a simple solution. Just hot glue a second glue stick to the back. Like, it's so simple. I don't know why I never thought of this, but it was super helpful when making this next project. So I'm kind of running out of places to put my acrylic paint. I have this hanging paint organizer, but it only holds so much. The rest of it gets shoved in this bin and I just forget that it exists. So I came up with a simple solution using toilet paper rolls and an old shoebox. This hack couldn't be easier. All you do is hot glue the toilet paper rolls to the bottom of a shoebox. Honestly, the hardest part about this was collecting enough of these cardboard tubes. Clearly, I had been collecting these for a while, but I still didn't have enough. Luckily, I saved some paper towel rolls as well, so I cut those down to size. Once I had the layout that I wanted, I went ahead and glued all the cardboard tubes to the bottom of the box. My box wasn't quite the right size, so I removed 2 of the sides with an X-Acto knife, trimmed a bit off the bottom, and hot glued those back on. If you don't feel like cutting the box apart, you can use any extra space to store paintbrushes or smaller paint tubes. I trimmed off the excess cardboard, then spray painted the box with some gold spray paint. You don't really have to decorate this if you don't want to. I just thought it would make it look a little nicer. There was one small problem though. Since the box that I used had sort of a shiny coating, the paint didn't exactly stick very well. I solved this issue by sealing the paint with some polyurethane. When that dries, just stick a bottle of paint in each section, and you're good to go. I put the paint in upside down so I could see what colors I have, and I stored it like this on a shelf. This is a great way to organize your paints, and the best part was it was practically free. Another money-saving hack that you might not think of is to make nozzles from plastic bottle caps. Most bottle caps are made from HDPE, also known as number 2 plastic. This type of plastic can be melted and shaped fairly easily. It has a melting point somewhere between 270 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the tool that you're using to melt it. For this hack, you'll need a clean bottle cap, a candle, a lighter, bent nose pliers, a skewer, and some water, preferably in a glass bowl so that you don't accidentally melt the bowl. Light your candle, Then pick up the bottle cap with the pliers. The top of the bottle cap should be facing down like this. Move the bottle cap around the flame in a circular motion for about 4 minutes. Make sure not to get the bottle cap too close. You don't want to burn it. After the 4 minutes is up, poke the skewer through the top of the bottle cap like this. Hold it for a few seconds, then dunk it in the water to solidify the plastic. Go ahead and pop out the skewer, then use scissors to cut off the tip. You can cut the plastic higher for a smaller hole and lower for a larger one. You can push clay through the bottle cap for a makeshift clay extruder, cut the bottom from a plastic bottle to make a small funnel, or use the bottle to hold something like pancake batter or tie-dye. I've always liked making things with polymer clay, but the cost can definitely add up with all the clay tools out there. I found an easy way to roll out an even slab of clay without a machine. You'll just need some popsicle sticks. I used one of these Dollar Tree chopping mats to protect my work surface, and hot glued 2 popsicle sticks right on the mat. Put some clay in between them, and use a rolling pin to roll out the clay. You'll know you're done when the clay doesn't flatten anymore. If you want your clay to be thicker, you can just glue together multiple popsicle sticks. The popsicle sticks can be peeled right off the mat when you're done, and you can rinse it off to use next time. If you're wondering what I did with the clay cutouts, I baked them, painted them, and added some gold leaf. Which, if you're worried about dust in your clay, or don't want to buy a bunch of different colors, painting it is a great option. I sealed the clay with some UV resin, and turned them into hair clips. So the thing about me is that I'm usually working on at least 3 or 4 projects at once. And when things don't have a designated space, it tends to get real disorganized real fast. I solved this issue by making these project bins with dry erase labels, so I could keep track of everything. For this one, I cut out some circles from cardstock. I used my Cricut, but you can get the same effect by tracing a lid and punching a hole at the top. I ran those through my laminator, cut them out by hand, and repunched the hole. I tied the labels onto some fabric bins with some ribbon, and used a dry erase marker to write what was in there. When you finish a project, all you have to do is wipe off the marker with a wet paper towel, and it's ready for the next one. Now everything has a place to go, and it's made my craft room a lot less cluttered. I've always wanted to try sun printing, but it's not something that I see myself doing enough to justify the price. But I was scrolling through Tik Tok the other day, and I found a similar technique that can be done with things that you might already have at home. The main things you'll need are turmeric powder, which hopefully I'm saying that right. I googled it. This is how the lady on Google said to say it, so I don't know. Rubbing alcohol, borax, gloves, a picture frame, paper towels, and either paper or fabric. I used cardstock paper. This project can be messy, so make sure to cover your work surface. Start by taking a small container and putting a paper towel on top. Secure it with a rubber band. Make sure you either use a glass container or a disposable one, because this stuff will stain. Push the towel in a little bit to create a well. Pour in some turmeric powder, and add in the rubbing alcohol to create a paste. You don't really need exact measurements for this, just go for it. It looks gross, but stay with me. When there's no more liquid dripping into the container, take off the rubber band and squeeze the rest of the liquid out of the paper towel. I covered a tray with more paper towels, put my paper on top, and painted on the mixture. I didn't add enough alcohol to the first batch, so that's why the first page looks kind of streaky, but it came out perfect the second time around. Typically people use dried plants for this, but I did not have the patience for that, so I cut out some leaf shapes from cardstock with my Cricut instead. I arranged the cutouts on top of the paper, then used the glass from some picture frames to hold everything down. Let that sit in the sun for 3 to 6 hours, preferably on a day when it is not raining, because I had to take these inside like 3 times that day. As you can see, the part that was left in the sun lightened quite a bit, and the parts that were blocked stayed this darker yellow. To seal your artwork, mix 2 teaspoons of borax with half a cup of warm water, and pour that on top. Let it sit for about 10 minutes, and rinse off any extra borax. Let that dry, and that's it. This technique was so much fun, and it turned out way better than I expected. I think these would look great as wall decor, or you could try dyeing fabric with this method to make a cute t-shirt or pillowcase. So that was everything for this video. Let me know which hack was your favorite. I think mine was the hot glue gun one. I know I'll be using that one a lot. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. And don't forget to check out Replica Surfaces using my code in the description. My merch, my website, and all of my social media will be linked down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys later. Bye!